Welcome, everyone, to the second episode of the Magic-A-Thon. My name is Alexander Thorn, and I put together this weekly little show due to the mass quarantines happening worldwide. This is a time where, pardon that, technical difficulties. Either way, this is a time where many of us are filled with uncertainty, worry, and apprehension. To that end, it has affected many people in a myriad of ways, especially those of us in the entertainment industry. Many of us who make our living performing for crowds find ourselves at a significant loss of what to do when the crowds are no longer there. To that end, I created this series for two reasons. Firstly, to entertain those of us stuck at home with a constantly rotating roster of phenomenal magicians. Secondly, during the course of this program, if you happen to see anything you like and want to help best support the arts during these troubled times, we have a donation link in the description where you can use to make sure that the performers you're seeing today and in the weeks to come will be able to keep doing these shows for wonderful people like you. Thank you so much. Before we begin, I want to make sure that this broadcast is only going to very specific people. In fact, I put something within the code of this particular site so that hopefully, if I got it right, only certain people will actually be able to even watch this video. Those are the people who have the creative spark within them, the ones who've always felt out of place, the odd ones made to feel different. There's nothing wrong with you whatsoever. In fact, you're one of the people who makes this world interesting. To make sure that this is going out to the dream weavers and not to any one of the mundane variety, I've established a little test. I have a selection of cards here. And what I want you to do is just go ahead and mentally select one. Just think of it. Excellent. Now, don't tell me, don't tell anyone near you, just mentally think of it and lock it in your mind. Got it? Excellent. Now, I'm just going to look here, and if I'm correct, if you are who I think you are, and I do think you are, then you seem like the kind of person who would pick this card. And if we look at the selections remaining, I believe, yes. I think you'll notice that your card is indeed missing, which means we are honored to have you here with us today. Now, this time in isolation has led me to getting back into hobbies of mine that I don't often have time for, like reading. I finally got around to reading Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. It's a fun adventure story, but we're not supposed to be doing much traveling these days, so I decided to try out my own version of this premise. Behold, this little ball will be our version of Phileas Fogg. And to take things up a notch, I'm going to send it around the world in 80 seconds. Let's go ahead and get our little timer. Wonderful. And excellent. All right. And there it goes. 1, 2, 3. There she goes. Off like a rocket. 8, 9, 10, 11. Far too fast to be observed by the human eye. 17, 18. According to my calculations, it's heading rapidly across the Pacific, whizzing past Hawaii, zipping across Japan at an incredible rate. 31, 32, flying over South Korea now, North Korea, excellent. It's over China, now the mountains of northern Mongolia, Kazakhstan, man, Kharkov, Kiev, Krakow, cracking along over Poland, and there goes Prague, 67, 68, Frankfurt, London, already, and here comes the Atlantic. It's losing some of its impetus now, going over Florida, slowing down, 72, 73, 75, 76, here she comes, and 80. Wonderful. All within 80 seconds, this little ball has been over the entire globe. I'll just make sure to sanitize it since it left the house. Now, this next one is a little bit different. Now, part of my time stuck in the house has been spent watching TV. All right, most of my time, lots of my time, watching television, lots of reruns and game shows, which led me to wonder, have you ever thought about what television programming in hell would be like? I started thinking about it the other day and wondered what game shows would look like. If there were game shows in hell, we would know they'd be rigged, right? After all, the father of lies and daytime programming wouldn't exactly play fair. And he already did such a wonderful job with 21 and Family Feud. So, welcome to Squeal of Fortune. I'm your host, Beelzebub, and tonight our special contestant is you. And they all look rare and go, don't they? Let's explain the rules of the game. Go ahead and mentally select any one of these boxes you like. Then hold your finger right above it. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you a series of numbers, one at a time. You then move your finger from box to box that number of times, going back and forth, however you'd like, all around in this little circle. Don't go diagonal, just go around in the circle or the other way around. Wonderful. After you do that, I'm going to remove a box or two from any one part of this circle. This continues until only one box is left, and inside of it is a special prize that will be yours. Now, there is a catch, but it's only one entirely in your favor. You see, inside 5 of the 6 boxes is a beautiful prize, Total Redemption. Inside one, and only one of the boxes, is the lemon, Eternal Damnation. So all you have to do is rely on your good luck and wonderful intuition to avoid the curse. Are you ready? Before we start, would you like to move to any other box other than the one you've already selected? Then just for the hell of it, move the same number of times as the box you chose. Wonderful. Well, it's obvious you know the rules. Now, when you move, we'll just go ahead and get rid of one of these boxes for you, all right? Excellent. We'll get rid of this one right there. Beautiful. Okay. All right, Johnny, what's our lovely contestant's first number? BL, their first number is the same as the same number of deadly sins. Their first number is 7. Excellent. Now go ahead and move your finger 7 times around these boxes, okay? You can go back and forth anywhere around, just can't go diagonal. Excellent. I've never seen someone count to 7 with as much determination as you did. Now let's remove another one of those boxes you didn't pick right there. Excellent. Johnny, what's our contestant's second number? BL, their second number is the number of our most popular circle, the circle of violence against neighbors, self, and you know who. Their second number is 7. Go ahead and count 7 times going around those boxes. Excellent. Now you should land on a certain box. Beautiful. Wonderful. You certainly went about that like an old pro. Now this time, let's get this box over here. The box you didn't pick out of your way. All right, Johnny, our lovely, brilliant, and anxious contestant is waiting for their next number. BL, her third number is not a popular number down here, but above is sure crazy about it. I'm talking about the number of you-know-who, his kid, and Big Bird. The number is 3. All right, go ahead and move your finger 3 times around these boxes. Beautifully done. Ding, ding, ding. Well, that sound means we're almost out of time. So let's remove both boxes on either end. That leaves you with just the single box you have selected. What's it going to be for you, dear contestant? Total redemption or eternal damnation? I know you want to know. I know I want to know. And I know the demons and demonesses in our studio audience, as well as the souls back at home. So let's see what you have won. Ooh, little demon with horns and a tail. Too bad. Well, let's see what you could have won. Oh, dear, it seems every one of these is a little circle with a halo on top. Well, you had 5 chances to win, 5 times the opportunity, but just didn't do it. I'm sorry, my pretty little damned one, but you've lost your chance and your soul. But as I said on the outset, I think Hell's game shows would cheat often, as in all the time. For example, what's the box number you ended up on? 4, right? But that's not so much of an idea or a prediction of what would happen, because Hell would make sure everything was in its favor before you even began. Now, with all that cheating going on, though, well, it wouldn't be right to let things stand as they are. Well, hell would approve, surely. Satan was an angel once, after all. Oh, well, that's my time, everyone. Stick around because up next we have a few more amazing performers. Coming up next, we have Paul Draper, famous illusionist, famous mentalist, but he's going to be doing something a little bit different for all of us today. Stay tuned.
Okay. So everybody usually knows me as a mentalist, performing mentalism and the sort of spooky seancey stuff you just saw. But in this new environment, I changed my little space here into an online live studio. So instead, we're doing, as you can see around here, classics of family and kids magic, just like this. Oh, look, I have on my bizarrest scarf. This is good for the winter months, for Krampus and for seances. But now we're in the springtime, about to go into Easter kid shows. So I need all the kids at home to wave your hand at the scarf, just like that. And suddenly it, of course, becomes a perfect rainbow for springtime. Thank you so much. And that'll look so much better to wear later on. Continuing with the colorful theme, I have right here a couple of beautiful things. You see all those sparkling gemstones right there. And right here as well, I have all of these colorful fans, all different colors. So everybody at home, just like this, I want you to look at this right here, all the different colors on both sides, Somebody name a color for me. I can see in the screen. Hold up your hands. How many fingers? 4? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your color is gold. Do you see that? Here, we'll make them all gold. And not only there, but I'll wave over the little fans just like this. And something amazing happens. The color comes back here. And that means that all these little fans are now gold. What a wonderful job. Look at you, being a little bit Dora the Explorer and Blue's Clues for the magicians who are watching. Yesterday I had a show for a little boy who loved Mario. Everything he loved was Mario. And so I wanted to create something like Mario for him, where we were creating coins. We were capturing the coins in Mario. This is as close as I could come right here. Here, I'll turn off one of the lights so it's easier to see. Do you see it? You know the truth. That's a little golf ball right there. A solid, hard golf ball. Take it and make 2. You're winning. You're winning with two of those gold coins. Just like that, there 2. And now, boop, there are 3. There are 3 of them. Solid balls, good enough that we can juggle. Did you ever notice that juggling was perfect with the circus theme? And so here we are. We have the 3 little balls, 1, 2, and 3. Where do you think the last one's going to go? Point on your screen where it's going. That's right, right there. Before you went to heaven and hell, now you get to choose where the balls appear. So look like that. Boom, now we have 4. We'll take one of them. Blow like that, it's gone. Down to just the 1. 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 1, 1. Oop, you saw it. See the problem? You caught me. You caught me. You're so good. All of these, this is a lesson for magicians. They can catch it on the camera. See, all of them. And so we have to be more careful with the styles that we use. Because you caught that and you're so good, I'm going to teach you a magic trick. Do you want to learn a magic trick? Of course you do. I'll show you one. Let's see, right here. Right here is a paper napkin. Now we have to be careful. We shouldn't be wasting paper. And so if you do this at home, use just 1 square of toilet paper, or just 1/4 of a napkin. In honor of Doug Henning, it looks as if it's being torn. So you can hear the pages tearing. Some people at home will tell me that they are absolutely, positively sure that every single piece of that is being torn into a little tiny bits. So what I'd like you to do is, if you're at home and you can see this, come on, play along, it's fun. Blow, everybody blow. I'm going to squish it into a little ball. And if you see how it's done, it's okay, because I'll teach you. I'll teach you exactly how it's done. Squish it into a tiny, tiny, tight little ball right there. And everybody blow. And if you do that, Now we can unfold it and make it whole again. And I'll teach you how it's done if you saw it, how it's done. Just like that. So where is the other piece? You're right. I tore it up and it's not over here. It's hidden in my hand there. So what I do is I have the whole piece over here and then I switch out the little pieces for the big piece. But the problem is if somebody says, wait a minute, that's not magic, then I need you at home to help me. Everybody blow, just like that on there. And then just like magic, we can unroll those pieces and make them whole once again. Oh, how fun to get back to those basics. Over here, I have something I'd like to share that's perfect for quarantine. While we're all in quarantine, I know that a lot of us are eating our comfort foods. We're eating our comfort foods and gaining a little weight. It's okay. It's a good thing to do. Take care of yourself. So right here, I have a beautiful box of candy. It even says candy on there. See that? Candy, just like that. So inside here, I want to show you the kind of candy I've been eating in quarantine. I've been, oh no, I ate it all. Everybody help. Wiggle your fingers. Say candy. This is what I'm doing. Snap your fingers just like that. Wave over the top. And just like that. Oh, you gave me all this wide variety of candy. Thank you so much for helping me out from home. Oh, all the candy. And I'll just put it right here into the savant. Nobody knows what that is, right? We won't tell them. So I've created a space here to do all this fun stuff where people can play from home. With that, a classic of magic from the Nielsen family, from Norm Nielsen and Lupe. You'll want to go on if you know them and love them and give some support online. Right here, we have a little ball and a little cup, a little wooden ball and a teacup. That's for green tea, a little teacup right there. Take that, you can see the little sparkly red ball. Take the sparkly red ball, put it in the cup. You can hear it in the cup right there, right? You can hear it, you can see it right there on the table. Little ball under the little cup. Now this is what I need you to do. Follow along. Is the ball under the cup or is the ball in my pocket? Everybody point on the screen to where you think it is. You think it's in my pocket? You're right, you saw it, you're very good at that. This is where the cheating comes in. Take the little ball, put it in my pocket. The little ball is in the pocket. Ready? Where do you think it is? In the pocket or under the cup? What, you think it's in my pocket? No, it's not under my pocket. It's right there under the cup. You can hear it, you can see it. Here, we'll do it again. I'll take the little ball, put it in my pocket right there. Of course, it's right there in the pocket. Where do you think it is? You think it's under the cup this time? How can you trade your mind that quickly? No, it's not under the cup, it's in my pocket. But if you want it to be under the cup, what I need you to do is wiggle your fingers. Clap your hands. Point at the cup and say magic. And just like that, you did it. Right there, it's under the cup. There's still so much magic to be had in the world, still so much magic to show. If people want to see some of my mentalism, we still can. I just am not sure it's as good when people can't examine the spoon. But that's a solid metal spoon there. Here, I'll even show you this. This is a 50-cent piece. A 50-cent piece is thicker than a quarter, and that spoon is thicker than that 50-cent piece. You can see right there up close. You can hear the coin ring in the air. You can hear how solid that metal spoon is. And yet, if we need to, just blow, and the metal starts to bend in my hand. It just starts to bend up towards my hand, like that. The metal, I'll place one hand on top of the other, and it keeps bending. It keeps bending. Stop, stop, stop. That's more than 90 degrees. A lot of people think that I take and put enormous pressure on it when no one's looking. So this time I won't even touch it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. It just melts straight down on its own. Well, it's fun to come on here and share a little time with everybody. Please go out and keep sharing your magic with people. Create your space. This is the key for me. I just set up a couple little lamps, just a couple little lamps here that I picked up for $20 a piece. Created a little space that's 5 foot by 10 foot. then you can too to make it look great in your house. Take a 10-foot by 10-foot bedroom, move everything to one side, and you can create your own magic theater at home. So I want to introduce our next performer. Are you ready? I'm going to read his intro card because it's important to get it right. Paul Voodini has made a name for himself over the past decade in bizarre magic and mentalism circles for combining esoteric methodology with a magician's skill and showmanship. He's perhaps best known for his work in cold reading, and in this episode, we'll be demonstrating how readings can be used for entertainment purposes in a fun and positive manner. Ladies and gentlemen, I turn you now over to the capable hands of Paul Voodini.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul Draper. And yes, I am Paul Voodini, for better or worse. And, you know, throughout history, in times of strife and in times of pestilence and war and social upheaval, people have looked to fortune tellers and soothsayers to offer some kind of hope and comfort in these uncertain times. Sometimes these fortune tellers turn out to be charlatans who are intent only on exploiting the situation to their own advantage. But other times, the fortune tellers are people with good hearts who want only to pass on help and reassurance, to pass on hope and comfort. So as we labor under the cloud of coronavirus, I'm here today to hopefully pass on to you some hope and comfort. Or perhaps I'll just take advantage of you. Not entirely sure at the moment. We'll see. However, during this demonstration, I would ask that you're very aware of your environment, because when I've done these online readings before, people have often said that weird and strange things happen. Perhaps, for instance, a clock might stop ticking on your wall, or the lights might flicker. Perhaps a pet will start to act oddly, perhaps more oddly than usual. And even something as random as receiving a text or a phone call from an old friend or relative who you haven't spoken to for a long time. So while I'm doing this demonstration, if anything strange or unusual happens, oh, and just as he says that, the lights go out. Just bear with me a moment, and then they come back on. How very strange. I shall keep going in the hope that the electrics don't blow completely. But as I was saying, if anything strange or unusual does happen while I'm doing this demonstration, please make a mental note of it. And perhaps if you're able, let us know about it later on after the show is finished. So having said that, I shall pick up what I need here. I have 3 cards here, 3 tarot cards here. These are 3 tarot cards from the Major Arcana out of a pack of tarot cards. For those of you that don't know, the Major Arcana are those 22 cards within a deck of tarot that are the very iconic cards that you're probably used to seeing in horror films or TV shows. Cards such as Death, the Hanged Man, the Tower, etc. Very iconic cards. And I chose 3 at random. And yes, you will note that they are suitably dark and gothic, full of skulls, for these dark times that we're living through. And let us give each card a number. Card 1, card 2, and card 3. What I'd like you to do is focus upon these cards and see if you're drawn to card 1, card 2, or card 3. Just allow yourself to be drawn to one of those cards. And if it helps, reach out and touch the screen, as long as you make sure that you're not accidentally switching off the app or opening another window to Google or something, or Pornhub, perhaps. But nobody wants that. So just be careful, but focus on these 3 cards. And once you've got a number in your head, number 1, 2, or 3, keep that number in mind. Don't change your mind, but just remember your number. So if you chose card number 1, you chose, very good. You chose the Sun. Now, the Sun is a very positive card in the tarot deck. In fact, it's probably one of the most positive cards. And if you chose number 1 and you chose the Sun, then your intuition serves you well. And what it says is that good times are coming for you. There's good news ahead. If there was a metaphor for the Sun card, it is perhaps if you imagine yourself planting seeds in the earth, and then the sun comes out and warms up the earth, and the shoots start to appear out of the soil. And that is the metaphor for the Sun card. It's about getting your rewards for hard work, for the investments you've made in the past. Now is a time of good things coming for you. So that's good. It's also a card of illumination, which means that you may have, over these past few weeks, over these trying times, learned some new things about yourself. Perhaps you've discovered that you're stronger than you realize you could be, that you're more tenacious than you thought you could be. And perhaps you've also discovered some things about people close to you as well. The Sun card illuminates dark corners. And perhaps you've discovered some good things, or even perhaps not so good things about those close to you. But it's better that you know this. But that's really just a byproduct almost of the Sun card. The Sun card in general is a very good card. And if you chose number 1, well done. Good things coming your way. Card number 2. If you were drawn to card number 2, you were drawn to, you were drawn to the devil. Now, I must tell you very quickly before you scream and run naked down the street, totally ignoring all government advice to avoid social interaction, the devil card is not a bad card. Well, it's not an awfully bad card. It's a card really that says, don't give worries and concerns more energy than they deserve. The devil is often called a trickster. He likes to fool you. He likes to pull the wool over your eyes. He likes to sort of laugh at you. So what this card is saying is that, yes, of course, in these troubled times, there are things to be concerned about, but don't give too much energy and focus and power to these concerns. Try to keep a sense of perspective. Try to see the positives in life, and don't get too wrapped up worrying about what's going to happen and giving those sort of negative thoughts too much energy. That's what the devil card is all about. So if you've chosen number 2 now, you've been told, behave yourself. Finally, if you chose card number 3, you chose the lovers. Now, of course, the Lovers card, there's no getting away from it. It is a card about relationships, and it is a card about one-to-one personal relationships. So perhaps if you're lucky enough to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife, or perhaps in these times of social isolation, unlucky enough, depending on how things are going back home, it's now a time to cherish that relationship. It's a time to foster that relationship, to help that relationship to grow in depth, and also other relationships in your life. The Lovers card is also about all relationships in your life, relationships with friends and with family. So it's a time now to really focus on those relationships. Don't worry too much about financial and material matters. Those wheels keep on turning. They will always turn. But what you need to do now is focus on the relationships in your life, on those positive relationships, and sort of give those relationships your energy. So if you chose number 3, that's what that card is about. Hopefully, whether you chose card 1, 2, or 3, I've given you some sort of hope and comfort, or at least a reason to keep going in these dark times. But also, whether you chose number 1, 2, or 3 is quite interesting in itself. If you chose number 1, number 1 is a very powerful number. It's a very potent number. And if you think about it, it's a very phallic number, but don't think about that too deeply until later. Number 1 is a card of somebody who likes to be a leader, somebody who leads from the front, somebody who enjoys the spotlight. If you chose number 1, that is your kind of character that you are. If you chose number 2, you're much happier leading by committee, by decision making by committee. You're a team player, you enjoy relationships, you enjoy working in unison to make things happen. The number 2 is all about relationships, building those relationships, and sort of leading by agreement, everybody agreeing what they want to do. Not at all dictatorial like perhaps number 1 can be. If you chose number 3, I like to think of number 3 as a triangle or a pyramid almost. A pyramid has a very strong base that sort of leads up to the pinnacle of it. If you chose number 3, you're a real worker. You don't enjoy the spotlight. You don't like being the subject of attention. You don't like leading. What you like is being part of a big team, all pulling and working together, like a sort of colony of ants working together to a common goal. You're a real team player. So if you chose number 3, then that is the kind of person that your character trait is. So with that, I shall leave you and hand you over to the very capable hands of our host. Oh, there goes the lights again. I do believe I might have to conduct a seance. I'd better crack on and sort of get on with that. So I'll bid you goodbye, and I'll go and deal with the things that go bang in the night, as it were. Thank you.
I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in to our second episode of the Magic-A-Thon. If you enjoyed what you have just seen today, please make sure to visit the PayPal link in the description below and help us make sure that this is a series that can keep coming to you with even more wonderful episodes. If you didn't like it, make sure to give us double as restitution for hurting our feelings. Stay safe out there, everyone. We shall see you all again next week.